Hey everyone, it's Dale here. If you've ever typed volume profile in TradingView's indicator list, then I think that you've probably seen quite a lot of volume profiles there. And might be that you are feeling quite overwhelmed by the different volume profiles that the TradingView offers. And yeah, it might be quite confusing because there are so many profiles like session volume profile, HD volume profile, fixed ranged volume profile, periodic volume profile, anchored volume profile. And yeah, this could be quite confusing, but in this video I'm going to go through each one of them and show you what each one of them does, how to apply them, which one I recommend using, and also I'll show you how to make a powerful volume profile workspace for intraday trading. So let's get started. So the first thing I should mention in this video is that for those volume profile indicators to work for you, you need at least the essential pack that the TradingView offers. Alright, that's the cheapest one. It will offer most of the volume profile indicators. In here you can see the blank TradingView chart, and the first volume profile indicator that I'm going to load up is a session volume profile. So what you want to do is go to indicators and search for volume profile. Scroll down a bit, and in here this is a list of TradingView profiles that are coded by the coders from TradingView. So those are like official volume profiles. Let's go for the session volume profile. Let's load it up. So when you load it up for the first time, it looks like this. It shows daily volume profiles. As you can see, each volume profile shows how volumes were distributed each day. This is like the most standard volume profile, right? There's also that black line showing the point of control, which is the place where the volumes were the heaviest in that day. As you can see, the volume profile is a bit rough. It needs more detail. So the way to fix this is go to settings, then in here go to ticks per row and choose some small number, let's say 2. Click OK. And now it's way more precise. All right. So this is the session volume profile. It's called session because if I go back to the settings, then in here you can choose the session where the volumes will show. So for example, it could be pre-market, market only, or post-market, or custom. So if I select custom, then in here you can select where the volume profile will calculate in which session. In my point of view, this doesn't really make too much sense to use this, because why would you only want to see volume profile in one session but not, in the rest of a day? Doesn't really make sense in my opinion, so I would always keep this like this, so you see how the volumes are distributed throughout each day. All right, so that's the session volume profile. Now, the next one will be the session volume profile HD. So let me load that up. And this is how it looks by default. As you can see, it is way more precise, at least by default, than the standard session volume profile. And also there's one cool thing about it. And the thing is that if you zoom in, it actually gets more detailed automatically. So see, this is zoomed out. When I start to zoom in, it gets more detailed. This is one extra feature that the previous volume profile I was showing you can't really do. So yeah, I would say that the HD profile is a bit superior to the session volume profile, but this is more or less the only thing it does extra. And by the way, if you want to have the HD version, I think that you actually need to have the premium membership. All right, I think that this is the only volume profile indicator from TradingView where you actually need to have the premium. All right, the rest, as I was saying, the essential pack is just fine, but for the HD profile you need to have the premium. So if you guys have the premium, then I would recommend using this one. If you don't, then you just use the standard session volume profile and adjust it so it's more detailed, and then you will have basically the same result. All right. Now, coming next is the periodic volume profile. Now, when you load up the periodic volume profile, it will look like this. It's kind of funny, so you need to adjust it. Go to settings, and in here you need to choose the period right here at the top. So let me make a weekly volume profile out of this, okay? So go week, and in here it says 1. I will also make it a little bit more detailed. So I'll go like this and go, for example, for row size 2. Okay, so we have this setting, press OK, and what it shows now is a weekly volume profile. If I zoom out a bit, then you can see that every week there's a volume profile printed. All right, so this volume profile shows how the volumes were distributed in this week. Then the current weekly volume profile, this one, is showing how the volumes are distributed this current week. All right, so that's the weekly volume profile. You can adjust that, obviously, for example, to a monthly profile, or you can use daily profiles. Let me show you. This is quite handy, I think. See, those are standard daily profiles. Or you can set it, for example, to 4-hour profile. In this case, volume profile will show volume distribution every 4 hours. Looks like this. And yeah, it's quite handy for intraday trading as well. So yeah, in my opinion, the periodic volume profile is one that I would definitely recommend. Later in this video, I'll show you how we can make a pretty solid workspace using this specific volume profile. But now let's move on a bit and let me show you another volume profile. And the next one will be the fixed range volume profile. This is, I would say, my most favorite one. The reason is that you can select an area in the chart where you want to see the volume distribution. So you can move it around like this. And this is especially useful for volume profile setups that I trade. For example, in here, I selected a trend area because I'm only interested in volumes in this trend. I'm not interested in daily volume profile, not in weekly volume profile, but in volume distribution just in this trend. Because I wanted to see significant pullbacks where the price could potentially react, right? This is one of my strategies. By the way, there are more of those volume profile strategies using this specific volume profile. You can learn it in a volume profile course you can get on my website. This is my website, traderdale.com. If you go to trading course and tools, then in here, there's the volume profile pack. The pack includes a volume profile video course. That's like 15 hours of volume profile training, my custom-made indicators, tech support, access to my daily and swing trading levels every day. And yeah, it's quite handy if you are interested in volume profile trading. And let me now go back to the trading view and let me show you the rest of the profiles. So yeah, as I was saying, this one is probably my most favorite profile, as you can move it around, look into specific areas. And those are not just trends, but it could be like you want to look how volumes are distributed in this rotation, or you know how volumes are distributed in this area where, you know, from which the price started to go upwards aggressively. All those are important zones in the chart, and you want to select only those zones because, you know, the price likes to react to those zones, like for example reaction to this heavy volume zone in here, right? This is why I selected only this area, because this is important zone in the chart, right? So anyways, I definitely recommend using this profile. Let me now show you the next one. The next one will be the visible range volume profile. If you load it up, then by default looks like this, kind of rough, but we can adjust it. What it basically shows is the volume distribution from the area which you currently have on your screen, right? That's why it's called visible range. If I zoom out a bit, then the volume profile will adjust. because right now it's showing us the volumes of the whole screen basically, right? Now again, you want to make this more detailed because this is not any good. So you go to settings, and in here you go to ticks per row and go, for example, for 5. Now it's more detailed, and the thing I like about this profile is that it shows the big picture, right? If you look at it, you immediately know where the most important volume zones are, right? You can see that there's a huge volume zone in here at this price level, then huge volume zone in here at this price level, then this one, then also there's this one, smaller one, but could also be important with some strategies. So with this profile, you immediately know where are the important zones, what the big picture is, and what's going on the chart, right? I'm not using this profile as a standalone profile, as a standalone strategy, but I combine it with different profiles, and I find it quite useful. All right, so the last one will be the auto-anchored volume profile. Let me load it up, and let me show you. If you load it up, it looks like this. If you go to settings, then in here you can select where you want to anchor that profile. That means where do you want the profile to start calculating from, right? So for example, could be the highest high. So as you can see, it's calculating from this point, which is the highest high of this area, or for example, lowest low, highest volume, or from start of the week, month, year. Truth be told, I don't really think that this volume profile is of any use. I think that this is a typical example of an indicator which is made by a coder, but not by a trader. Because I can't really see a scenario where a trader would actually use this. Because as a trader, you want to see like daily profiles or fixed range profiles, or profile which will show you the volumes on the whole screen. But why would you anchor the volume profile to the highest point, for example, of the day? And why would you only be interested in this area? This is kind of not my cup of tea. If you do want to select a specific area, then you just go and use the fixed range volume profile, and you just click left, click right, and select the area yourself, and you are all set. All right, so now we've covered all the profiles that the TradingView offers. Let me now do a very, very brief recap. So this is the session volume profile, which basically shows daily profiles. It's a bit rough, but that's how it is by default. Then there's the session volume profile HD, which by default looks like this. You can zoom in for more detail, and it's generally better. It shows daily profiles, and the only downside is that you need to have the premium subscription. The next one was the periodic profile, where you can manually select the period where it will calculate. So this is like the 4-hour profile. You can change it, for example, to a weekly profile, so it will show a volume distribution throughout every week, and so on. A very handy profile, in my opinion. Then there's the fixed range, where you can select the period where the volume profile will show you the volume distribution. Then there's the visible range, which looks like this and shows you the volumes throughout the whole area on your screen. And the last one, that's the auto anchored, which automatically anchors at a selected point, like for example, high of the day, low of the day, and so on. And as I was saying, I'm not really into this one too much. All right, so that's for the little recap, and let me now show you how you can make a pretty solid volume profile workspace here. So let me just get rid of this one, because I definitely don't want to use this one for the workspace. And let me start by using the periodic volume profile. So I'll load up this one first, and we need to adjust it. So go to settings, and I want a weekly profile. This is a weekly profile. This is how you can make it more detailed, and this is how it looks like. So those are weekly volume profiles here. Then the next profile I'm going to use is going to be the visible range volume profile, because I also want to see the big picture, right? It's not too detailed, so again, I want to make it more detailed, and I'll do it like this. Row size 5 or even 10 should do the trick. So this is showing me the big picture, and then what I'll also do is I'll load up my favorite fixed range volume profile, and that's the volume profile that I use for looking for specific setups. Let me zoom this in a bit. This one is sort of fixed, this is fixed, this is fixed. Those are the weekly profiles, and this one you can move it around and look for specific setups, which I think is pretty handy. And yeah, this is how a pretty solid volume profile workspace can look like. I recommend you give it a try. Try to create that specific workspace yourself. See how it works for you, see how you like it. Obviously you can change the colors, the opacity, more or less everything about it, but you know, the basic layout stays. It looks like this, and yeah, I'm pretty sure that you like it. So that's for that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, I hope you learned something new, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you next time in some next video, and until then, happy trading!